So again, we ask ourselves, are we really doing or are we being? How much of the difficulty in our lives is caused by the illusion that we are doing it? That we're doing what we're doing and that everyone else is doing what they're doing? I would say a very, very... Hi, this is Prashant. Today we're going to look into the question of, are we doing or being? So throughout the day, you get up in the morning, brush your teeth, you do your different activities, going around all day. What's happening during that time? Are you doing all of those things? You can just look and see within our own experience. Or are you being, just being yourself? The way that you're being right now as you watch this. Noticing that there's a feeling within you that is being. Which one is it? So to make things simple, I'll say it's actually both. Now, typically when we look at wanting to be happy and realize our own nature, the first thing that usually needs to go is the sense of us doing something. That's the sense of an individual thinking mind within you, thinking that it is doing all the activities that you're doing. That you decide to do something by thinking about it, and then you do it using action. But there's an aspect of us that's witnessing all of this. And you know very well that sometimes you think about something and something different takes place. Sometimes you think about something and do it and later on regret that that wasn't what you really wanted to do. It can happen in all fields, including music. You know, a lot of us happen to be musicians. Even when you play something, if you think about it and then play that thing, sometimes it doesn't sound as good as you thought it did. So, are you the one going around and doing? Or are you actually being? The best thing to do is to actually be, which is what you're already doing right now. And the easiest way to look at it and understand our nature and the nature of our experience is that they're like different layers, just like a wave on top of the ocean. The underlying layer, which gives support and is the source of everything that we experience, is our being, our beingness, just a feeling of being. That is just being itself and witnessing an experience, experiencing everything that you're having in your experience. We can call that as pure awareness. And on top of that is another layer, which is feelings, emotions, and the thinking mind. And the part of you that identifies with the body and the mind. And that aspect of you feels and thinks that it's doing. Now, many times you might realize that that thinking mind actually doesn't know what it's doing, and that will say contradictory things and suggest contradictory things. And what ends up actually happening may or may not go along with that aspect of of your mind that is thinking it's going to do it. So we want to just relax and be ourselves, letting go of the idea that we're generating thoughts and doing those things. So just relax into your own nature and be, and notice that doing happens of its own accord. And you can also look at all of the spontaneous activities that take place by themselves, like digestion, like breathing. It doesn't take any effort to breathe. You just simply breathe. It's very easy and very natural. Similarly, when you play music, you might start out with strong intention to play and play a particular thing. But when you've really learned a piece of music, you'll find that playing happens all by itself and you're just witnessing. So whenever I work with the younger students, or work with any students for that matter, when you practice something, you practice it until you don't have to think about it or try. It happens on its own. At that point, are you really doing anything? Or are you being and experiencing action taking place? So this is where we really want to get to, is the spontaneous action that's talked about so much in teachings like Bhagavad Gita and so many others. Really all of those of us, or those sages who realized their own nature or shared some sort of wisdom, talked about that action happens naturally and that we really don't do anything. So again, we ask ourselves, are we really doing or are we being? How much of the difficulty in our lives is caused by the illusion that we are doing it? That we're doing what we're doing and that everyone else is doing what they're doing? I would say a very, very large part, you could argue it's literally all of the reason that we have the problems that we have, is identifying with our thinking mind, thinking that we're doing what we're doing and everyone else is doing what they think they're doing. Again, we come back to the ocean and as a symbol of the natural arising in the self or in the pure awareness, and recognize that there's a vast current in the ocean that is moving each and every single wave. And all of those waves are in perfect harmony with each other, even though they might appear different, to be crashing into each other in some cases. They're all in perfect harmony. So underneath this layer of talking and speaking is actually pure silence. And that's another way of looking at the being. Recognizing that we are simply being as we are. So look into this and see, are you doing or are you being? And when you're doing, just be. And when you are being, you will do automatically. This is a much happier and easier way to be that takes no effort and no difficulty. So just be yourself, have fun, and we will talk more about this topic as well to give you some more clarifications, because I know I just went very generally on this.